what's up, guys? Welcome back to Vibe Nation. Today we're here to watch another video. Today we're here to watch a video called "Who Has Served the Most Time? Ex-cons Rank Themselves." So what I'm assuming is this has to deal with ex-convicts, people who have been in prison, and they are rating themselves based on how much time they spent behind bars. So this is by Jubilee. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. If you want to watch the original video, links will be in the description down below. And let's go in 3, 2, 1, and play.
She looked like a baby. So I think she probably did the least time. So I think you should.
Yeah, I would think her too.
Yeah, like you just took your braces off last week.
And then I think he did the most time, in my opinion.
I think so too.
My boss vibes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I would put you in the middle somewhere.
Like you was a second. You've been locked up since you was 12. I don't mean to judge you, but I think you over there, bro. Man.
I feel like I should at least switch with you.
I think she should be at the end. 'Cause I think she's just trying to trick her
go.
spot.
I kind of think you should be at the end. I have a feeling. I'm not sure why. I would
Right?
switch you two.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're projecting?
Projected? No, I feel like you just trying
Certainly
to switch your
projected.
spot.
Maybe.
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
definitely.
me
I would
and
switch you guys. Yes, I would.
Right.
Wow.
I think me and him should switch.
I'll go back over here then. I'll go back over here.
Wait, where was
I
this
think
guy
we're off
come
by a
from?
lot. I mean, we can't really tell.
I don't know. This dude might have done a stretch the way he talking.
This one?
Yeah,
He
on
doesn't give me
some
criminal vibes,
man,
you know?
on like some other mafia type.
No. See, I don't even try to judge a book by its cover. To be honest, this guy, I would say the guy who got towards like the number one the most time, I think that the people who are like the least suspecting are the ones that usually are the ones that did the most time. And it ain't even like something, it could be something like, money, like money laundering or some kind of crime like that. But yeah. The girl, I would probably put her on the number 2 to number 3, but who knows? It could be very, very bad what she did, but who knows? The black guy, I'll give him a number. I would probably say a number 2, probably a number 2, maybe a number 4, maybe around those numbers right there. The guy with the tattoo, probably a number 7. No, it's 1 through 6, isn't it? So probably a number 5.
But he ain't got enough tattoos for that.
I don't know what he's hiding underneath that long sleeve.
Exactly.
Right.
You're right,
You
right.
can roll your sleeves up?
Most of the tattoos on
You
their
have no
back.
tattoos?
No stereotype, but most of the, Asian culture tattoos be on their back.
He's so
I feel
fucking
like
clean
maybe
cut,
me
it's
and her
hard
need to
tell.
switch. Because she's talking like she's been around.
Probably so. Is that a yard tattoo?
First of all, no.
Did anyone do, was it federal or state time?
State.
Stay.
Stay.
What about you?
Federal time.
Oh yeah, I know.
What did I say? I'm telling you, he had to been in prison for some money. There ain't no way. Like everybody think he's the only federal one. It has got to be something dealing with money. And I bet you they ever talk about whatever they did. If they do, I think he did something with money. Just saying.
You got to.
White collar
I
crime.
know you did some time. bro.
American Greed.
How long we been out?
Right. Oh, that's a good question.
14 years.
14, wow.
My daughter's 13, 12, so 12 years.
10 years.
I've been out 2 years.
7.
6,
All right, I want to know what time you guys wake up every morning.
7.
5:30.
6 o'clock.
Between 4:30, 5 o'clock.
You guys are early.
How about you?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've never been to like, prison, but I will say this. I guess like when I hear all these times about what time they getting up, I think about when I used to work at Amazon, and that would be around the time where I would get off of work, I believe. Yeah, I would get off of work around that time. What's crazy to me is that I kind of still wake up around that. I wake up somewhere around that time, whenever I go to sleep. That don't know why. I don't work there no more, but still.
At 10 every day.
10 o'clock.
10.
10.
There's no time to wake us up doing there though.
I want to move you down here, though.
I'm cool with that.
Oh, yeah, right spot.
Yeah, put you right
Wake up at
here.
7.
So
I wake up at 6.
Didn't he say 7?
No, 6.
I'm not alone.
Yeah,
you say you just got out 2 years ago.
yeah,
huh?
2 years ago.
How old are you?
32.
32. Yeah, you probably should be right here.
He really wants to get out of that spot.
What was your biggest pet peeve inside?
Snitches.
New prisoners running to staff and not understanding that maybe out here you go to law enforcement, but it's not the best move while in custody. And
Exactly.
Since I'm the only girlfriend drama, it was crazy.
I can see that.
I've seen some stuff.
I can see that.
I mean, we got to work out every day. It's mandatory, you know, so
Yeah,
some
man.
people like to slack off, and I didn't like that. Yeah, you
gotta
need
push
everybody to
through.
be on top shape, you know what I mean?
Push through it.
Because at any second, anything could go down.
for me, I didn't do any drugs or anything like that, but being able to go to exercise and run,
Right,
that
right.
was a great. That was better than any drug that I could take. That was.
We know you
It was a
didn't
hell
do
of a
drugs.
release.
Yeah, you know.
We can see that.
You know what CRT is, right?
The tactical team?
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, if I can get that.
Yeah, so like what was that for you guys is like especially your first time experiencing that, and when you know they're coming for your cell or your dorm particularly.
For me, it's like, man, I just don't want to go through just cleaning up everything again. You have food
Yeah,
spilled everywhere,
straight.
like the
That's the
waters,
worst.
the juices, whatever.
Straight.
You just gotta clean up. So I'm
So
like,
if
man.
cleanup was your biggest concern,
Yeah.
I feel like you're in the right spot. I was a contraband queen, so I'm gonna go to solitary for sure.
Yeah.
So you should move. I
I
don't
just didn't
know.
think I should still.
Yeah.
You here, scooch down.
Yeah.
I thought this was about prison time served. It just turned into like that. Who was the softest one? Who was the softest? Who was the hardest at this point? That's why I feel like the ranking is starting to be.
The guards are probably the biggest assholes, bigger than they are on the streets.
The sheriffs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Most definitely.
I remember one time I was on lockdown. I was in what they call the hole. So we were supposed to get a shower at least once a day. I remember they came and we hadn't had showers for like 3-4 days. My cellie next door, they took him first. He was gone for about 3 hours. It don't take that long to take a shower. So when he finally came back, we asked him, man, why you was gone so long? He said, man, do not go take a shower. They left me in there for 3 hours, sitting on that
Naked.
cold ass bench, naked, and he's bamming on the door like, let me out, let me out. And they open the door, they say, if you knock on this door one more time, we're gonna come in there and fuck you up.
Yeah, man, they're on the
They did that to me
politics.
too. I was standing in the
seriously,
shower
and
for
they
hours.
meant it,
That's
and he knew they meant it, you know. And the prison guards really mistreat you. They want to make sure to tear you down in front of the others.
How much solitary time?
Like
has
you
everyone-
gotta hate when that happens, bro. Like granted, you know, we got you in prison and you're supposed to be like, you know, in charge of these people because, you know, they did something out in society where it was deemed illegal. I don't feel like that's a reason to go ahead and treat them any sort of way that they see fit. That's just where's your heart, bro? Like most of these people probably regret what they did. Like, come on, man. Not saying that, you know, they don't deserve the punishment, just don't treat them like garbage, you know?
One served.
I went in the hole for 60 days straight.
The most at one time for me is 90.
I never went to the hole, unfortunately.
No, I was on my best behavior. I was trying to get out.
We
Her
should
should be in the
move.
middle.
I should
I
be
think
here.
she definitely should be at least here.
I think you should be next to me.
feel like you should.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, you
I
seem
feel
like
like
you
y'all
just
two
been
need to switch.
thugging since been thugging.
Yeah, I've been in and out a lot. The system has been good to me, you know?
The system has been good to me. Red flag.
Yeah, speaking of, does everyone feel like the prison system is adequate in reforming?
You look, is prison working? Statistics are so clear about how many people go in, go out, and then go right back in. So recidivism rates in this country are atrocious. You hit the other side and you're not ready, and then you have this whole problems of banking and housing and employment. It's easier in some cases to just go back. The reentry, the training must begin in prison to help people in custody prepare for the hardest part, which is coming home with a sullied reputation and a felony record.
I think the programs that they offer helps a lot, but like I think we can all agree on this, that it's on the person, on the individual,
Yeah.
if they want to get something from that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go in there and they just go through the motions and they'll complete the program. But as soon as they get out, it's right back to the whatever put them in there the first time. Being an African-American male and being raised in what they call the hood, South Central LA, you're bound to go down that bad road.
Anger helped me break the cycle of going back and using drugs and all the stuff that I did. I was mad. I was really pissed off that I was treated horribly and chained to a bed for 2 days after I gave birth to my first daughter. I used that as motivation to never go back and completely retire and be a mom. I was going to talk about it and share my story and let people know just how bad it is. I was in facilities that didn't want to give women tampons, and I was not believed about pain. It is a very dehumanizing thing, and some of it is very petty. They do it because they can.
Let me ask you guys this. This is a good question. Like sometimes you can get just the little things in prison made you have, like you had some sense of humanity. Just like being able to wear your own shoes. To me, that was a big plus from being in the county.
Yeah.
Where you were so restricted to not really have been able to do none of that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing.
That's not like when I hear people talk about, oh, my life is this, my life is that, and then like sometimes like I hear that and I'd be like, people have some people's lives aren't so great, You can sometimes sympathize about people's lives and whatnot, but then you have some people and they say about certain things and it just sounds so, you know, so insignificant sometimes, But I always have to remind myself that I don't live their life and I don't know how they view it. But then when I hear people who went to prison, they talk like this and they talk about their experience in there, and sometimes you listen to documentaries about other places of how prisoners are treated and whatnot. It's like, bro. I mean, we even reacted on the channel talking about a guy who a guy I think was in I forget where, but he was known to be a really good escape artist from escaping prison because the conditions were so bad. You look at these stories and you're just looking like, yeah, I feel like my life is kind of like, ugh, but these guys, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want this for my worst enemy, you know, just terrible.
I think for me, like the visits, I really enjoy seeing my family. So in prison, you could hug them, you could see them, eat with them. Whereas in county, it's like through the glass, and you're like, man, only 20 minutes or even 15 for some places.
I think you should come back over here now.
Yeah,
come
you should
back over here. I feel like you guys are worse than me. You know, the good thing about doing time is that your traffic tickets go away. You sign a form, and they all go. And
I think you need to come over here. I think
that must be some LA stuff. I know you still got your same problems.
I think you should come down
maybe I straight up.
and scooch down.
We're gonna switch. Are you okay with that? All right.
And I think for me, the opportunities were there to take the classes to better yourself. But as far as like the treatment goes, no, because like the officers, they're very indifferent. So they don't treat you like a human being. You can't really have a conversation with them or any staff. They look at you as less than. So I felt very dehumanized.
That's the whole point. The whole point of it.
Okay, y'all should switch. You two.
I feel like you should be over here.
Yeah.
I really finessed the situation when I was in there. I know how to.
I feel like the indifference with the officers, like you have your bad officers, you have good officers and whatnot. It's like I for one, I'll make this clear. I do not believe anybody should be dehumanized in any way, shape, or form. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? It's kind of like the ways like I think like you are taken as being dehumanized, but also if we take the girl that she says that she was so angered by being treated horribly that she used that as anger to fuel her need to not make the same mistakes that put her in that situation to begin with. But all the other conversations, however, like when they said that some of the programs, it's also on the individual to make it a point, a duty to not repeat the same mistakes out there, because just like they said, like most people, they go out, they get out, and then in fact they end up out there, and it's a lot harder for them to live out in society because you have such a sullied record that they sometimes feel that it's better to come back in. Even like my mom, she used to work in the jail, and she even would say the same thing, that when they go back out there, sometimes they even do crime just because they want to come back in. So it's like for some people, it's like, I guess it's like everybody's different. You get this terrible treatment, you use that as fuel to not find yourself back in this situation again. And then you also have you have people who go ahead and just say, you know what, it's just better for me to go back in there. At least my needs are being met and I have a roof over my head and whatsoever. Being treated badly is the least of my worries. But I am still going to stand on the fact that no one deserves to be treated or dehumanized in any way, shape, or form. In the end, it's all up to you. Do you want to do you want to better yourself, or do you want to just be there in jail or whatsoever?
To work a person, you know what I'm saying? My favorite subject is psychology.
See, everyone serves time differently. I didn't do any finessing. I was stunned at how many people didn't do their job.
It seemed like you shouldn't even been in prison.
Thank you. Thank you.
It seemed like you got caught in a family scheme, and then they threw you under the
Little
bus.
pyramid.
Like
Thank you.
That's what it was. Your family caught you up because you just too polished. I can tell. I think my man should be right here because he been talking about some in and out.
I know he did more.
And he don't work
In and out of the prison?
You hear me? He wasn't talking about the burger place when he said in and out.
I would normally say American Greed guy should be like over here, like, you know, Ponzi scheme. I don't know.
Yeah,
He said
85%.
federal. I want to know what
See
he
what
did.
he's like.
Yeah, because I mean, the Ponzi schemes, they
It's a
do get a lot
minimum
of time.
Who said Ponzi
85%.
scheme?
I
You
mean,
look like a
They're
Ponzi
just-
scheme.
That's awful.
Judging you
I'm
by your
offended.
peers.
We were doing so well.
Judging you by your peers.
Everyone is
I
just
feel like even in and out.
Everybody's just, but it never
Everyone is
fails.
just presumed. You
No.
did that. I don't know why.
It never fails. Like it never fails. I'm always. There's nothing else. Just like he said, think about it.
Is this the final verdict right here?
Fed time.
85%.
Fed time.
Yeah,
You're gonna do 80% or more.
I don't think you're number one.
No, I don't think I am either.
I would actually maybe switch you two.
I would too. Yeah.
The majority,
Yeah.
the majority of these guys are state. He's the only federal one. I feel like he did the most time. I'm not lying. I believe so.
Yeah, I like that.
Your time.
I agree with that.
6th spot, we have Mario.
I told you.
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew it.
Told
Hey,
you.
months? Are you serious?
In the 5th spot, we have Nick at 1 year. In the 4th spot, we have Justin T at 1 year and 23 days.
In the fence.
Wow. They gave
You
you.
should be happy for me. It could have been worse.
Yeah, I am happy for you, for real. Congratulations.
Thank you.
In the 3rd spot, we have Tyrone at 3 years.
Okay. Oh, don't tell me you the badass.
I'm not, though.
In the 2nd spot, we have Jessica at 5 years.
Years, wow.
Really, huh? Let me find out it was a nail
He was
salon
messing
scheme.
with us the whole
Nail
time.
salon scheme.
In the 1st spot, Justin C at 14 years.
Damn, my boy.
Wow.
It's like, damn, my boy, what did you do? What did you do?
Whoa.
I just didn't get that vibe from him.
I
Yeah.
feel like I don't carry myself in a way where I'm like tough guy.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover. Telling you.
Dude.
Thank you.
All right, so I was on probation for sales, and then I got caught with weed again. You see, back in the days, weed was you'll get it from somebody's house, you know, or a corner. But now you got shops everywhere, so I got locked up for marijuana, like plain and simple.
I was a drug dealer. I was transporting narcotics across state lines. Luck and behold, I was a part of a sting operation. Didn't know it. They were surveilling me for like 3 days. I pled guilty to 18 months because it was my first charge. I was in a racist state, and my judge clearly looked at me and told me, I'm going to make an example out of you, so I'm going to send you to prison.
So I pled guilty to a white-collar crime, 1 count of conspiracy to commit fraud. I was a money manager in Century City at Bear Stearns and then UBS. And many years into my career, our team learned that a client of ours who managed a hedge fund was lying to his investors. Once we learned that he was lying, rather than stop the fraud, we turned the other way, in part because he was paying our company $100,000 a month, every single month, and all of us had grown somewhat addicted to the commissions. Of course, I always knew that it was wrong, and I was certainly deserved to be held accountable.
My conviction was robbery and possession of stolen property because I was in gangs. I was a Crip, originally sentenced to 7. I had a good PD, public defender, that was like, you would think that she was a paid attorney, the way she fought for me, and ended up doing 3.5.
My convictions are possession with intent, delivery of meth, and simultaneous possession of drugs and a firearm. And I was sentenced to 5 years in Arkansas, but I also served some other time because I was drug addict, so I have criminal sales of a controlled substance and assault as well.
So I went in for first-degree murder, attempted murder, gang-related drive-by shooting. Something that I'm very remorseful for. Because I was born in Korea, I'm still dealing with the collateral consequences of it, that I am facing deportation, that I could literally be deported any day. So right now, I am pardoning or campaigning for my pardon with the governor of California. I do believe that I was rightly sentenced to 82 years to life. My sentence was commuted by Governor Brown to 15 years to life based on my good behavior. I went in young, I turned away from the gangs, got my GED, my college degrees. So I'm just trying to create a different narrative, and that's the reason why I came on here, because people do change.
He's in California. He's definitely going to be pardoned. I believe it.
People are not the horrible choice they made as a teenager.
I'm so.
How old were you when you were sentenced?
I was 16.
Good story.
You see, like, this goes to show a lot. Like, if I see any one of you guys on the street, maybe I'll think I'm the bad one. But
Yeah, I would think
like,
it was you.
you know,
Say that.
Then maybe
But I
me.
see how you carry yourself. You got your baby with you. Shit, that's
Yeah, I would think he's.
Yeah.
a lot of times I do sense the fear in people when I'm next to them. But a lot of people that have done like some of the worst
Yo, this
crimes.
dude, is that a tattoo? Is that scar real or is that a tattoo? Hell, he's got that anime protagonist scar on his face. That's cool.
don't look like me.
No, don't judge no one. For real.
I think anyone that's been to prison has to work to try to change that narrative, or else everyone in this room is going to set the narrative of how you perceive people who went to prison.
That's what we're all here for, just to learn from our mistakes and become better than what we were yesterday.
And I believe that. I really do. I believe like anybody who's making a very conscious effort to better themselves than they were before. It's not good to go ahead and continue on in such very dastardly ways, especially like from all like from the ones that spent the most, definitely not. But still, I do believe that when you're in prison, I do not believe that you need to be dehumanized in any way. I will go ahead and I will say that again. No, that people do not deserve to be dehumanized. I more than likely, from my explanation, is just saying that sometimes it may be a motivator for some people, but then again, for some people, they're just like, whatever, right? They have like that kind of thick skin where like people like dehumanizing them doesn't really matter to them, but others it might be a motivator to stay out of prison. Don't follow that straight and narrow. I do not want to be dealing with what I dealt with when I went behind bars, and this is the kind of lesson that I would hope that you are teaching to your children. Please do not go where I went, because you will not survive. You know what I tell you? You will not survive a night in prison. Yeah, that's probably what they meant. But yes, definitely need to have better treatment of inmates. I really wonder if I can ever get my mom used to come home with a lot of stories about her time as a nurse in the jail, and she used to tell me about how all the inmates used to like her because she would do her job and treat them well, and whenever they got sassy with her, she would get sassy right back with them, and they said that they said that they used to like her because of it. I still pass that jail on my way to work, and I always remember those stories. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been Vibe Nation, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.